folks. Well, yeah, down in pit lane now, and Peter, you've been out in the car. I believe it's from Lisboa all the way around to here.
Out of turn one, actually.
Really?
Yeah, the driest part is the pit lane and start and finish. As soon as we left out of pit lane, it was wet, not damp. So yeah, really not good. I'm just actually trying to see if I can get back out in another car now, because we've been sat around for 15-20 minutes. Let's go and have another look. They've been sending cars round already. I just heard them go past again then. So, but yeah, it's actually quite wet all the way up until Fisherman's, really. And then it was damp from Fisherman's to the last corner, and then only dry from the last corner to turn one. That's it. So, but yeah, I mean, it actually still looks a bit gloomy up over the top over there. So. Yeah, not good. Can't write it, can you?
No, you can't.
I mean, Michael Rutter's obviously been here for like over 30 years. He's never seen it.
We're going to have a word with him.
Yeah, so, yeah. Hey, so away it goes.
Okay, I'll let you get that car.
No worries, thanks.
Peter. So that's Peter Hickman. Let's have a wander over to Michael Rutter and have a word with his teammate with the FHO. Years of coming to Macau, you've never known anything like this, have you?
No, or just, you know, I've had a few interviews about it. I've been coming 30 years, and, you know, we've had rain and we've missed a session, but I mean, that's been it, you know. But I mean, I think we've missed, I think the whole time, we've probably missed no qualifying, no practice, other than like crashes or car crashes.
Yeah.
But weather-wise, never. But we've had like races delayed because of weather, but only I think one or two in the whole 30 years. So, and the problem is it's like real humid. It's not dry. And when you're out there, when you're breathing, it's like I think it'll take a long time to dry, unfortunately.
Track time is crucial at anywhere, but even more so at Macau. Why?
It's just, to be honest with you, I'm in a lucky position because I've been here forever, but, you know, for people who are learning, you know, the track's so complicated and there's no real reference point. It's all Armco and it all looks the same, so one corner can catch you out. So, you know, if we had to go and race now, it would be ideal for me, but I mean, for other people, you know, they need lots and lots of laps to familiarise. We like with the surroundings and track surface and things like that. It's changed massively. Lots of new tarmac down, lots of places, which is really wet as well. So you go from a dry part of the circuit, what's been down for, you know, for years, and then they've resurfaced some of it, and the water's sitting on top of it. So yeah, it doesn't seem to be dry. I'm going to go out again in I think it's about 20 minutes and in the car and have another look, but hopefully it'll be all right. We'll get out as soon as we can.
In the short time you're on the bike, did you learn anything?
No, not really. Yeah, it was brilliant too. I was out with Pete and I let Pete go first and watching him, and it was there was flames coming out the back of his bike. It was amazing to see. So yeah.
So what's your feeling with this, with the way things are?
It's not looking good at the moment. You know, you can see even in the pit lane, you know, there's a few drops of water where it's been, and it's not drying. It just needs some sunlight on it.
All right.
It's warm, real hot. It's really, really hot, and the track surfaces, but I think it needs sunlight on it.
And also with the new constructions that go up as well, that kind of reduces now, doesn't it? You know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right.
Keep trying.
Fingers crossed.
Cheers.
I had a quick word with Craig Neve, because Craig, you were due to fly home.
Yeah.
So what's the story?
Story is, we just needed a little bit of surgery, which was scheduled on my shoulder from the accident at the TT. I didn't actually know I'd fractured my shoulder until I got an X-ray after the Manx Grand Prix. But yes, that's where we are at the minute. So that was the plan on Monday. Obviously, with the race now being tomorrow at the minute.
Which is when you were due to fly?
Well, we was meant to fly tonight.
Oh, tonight.
Because the race was going to be today, wasn't it? So that's been cancelled. So I'm going back with the boys, everyone else now. But that's going to have to wait another week, you know, for that. But more importantly, is we can do a good job here and get a good finish, hopefully.
Yeah, it's your third year here.
Yeah, so we did 2018 as a newcomer, 2019, and then I've missed the last year because of injury again. And then we are. So back at it.
Yeah. What's because it is a close-knit community racing anyway, but it is really close-knit here at Macau as well.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic. You know, everyone sort of looks after each other. You know, you're like a big group of sort of brothers, aren't you? You know, everyone's here, you know, trying to look after each other, and certainly on the circuit as well. And we can have a good laugh off the circuit as well.
Yeah. Okay. Best of luck.
Thank you very much.
That you might be
hopefully
worthwhile. That you know.
Yeah. Let's hope so. Hey, thanks, Dave. Cheers.
All right. Cheers, Craig. We'll have another little walk along. Okay, Paul Jordan, you were out in the car with Michael and with Mervyn and Peter before.
Yeah, it's disappointing really, to be honest. The rain wasn't too bad when we left here, but as the session started getting on up over the Grand or up San Francisco Hill, it was getting a lot more worse, you know, so I don't really know what to say. You know, it's disappointing for us, disappointing for everybody else involved. It's a bit of a waiting game at the minute.
It's been that kind of year in some respects, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's once you pull a motorbike out of the shed, the cloud seems to follow us. So yeah, hopefully we can get a bit of a turn here in the weather and get to do something. You know, I felt like when I was seeing the green light on pit lane there this morning, I was like a kid at Christmas running down the stairs. It was me and Pete with the first ride on the track. You know, and I just want to ride my bike.
Okay, let's get some positives. What is the magic of Macau?
Yeah, it's, you know, you just have to look around. You hear all the crowds will be here tomorrow, you know, watching us boys, and everything is here, you know, and it's just unique in its own way, you know, with the barriers and whatnot. There's only 2 street races in the whole world, and you know, we get to do one of them on motorcycles, which is incredible.
Yeah. And also as well, the frustration this morning mirrored the frustration you had last night in not being able to get out.
Yeah, sure. You know, he's trying, as you say, you know, he's trying to keep the positives. You know, obviously there's a lot of negatives at the minute with what's going on, but you know, fingers crossed something will come out of it and we can get some racing.
Any whispers of a contingency plan going around pit lane at the moment, or just?
I don't know.
No,
it's like how long's a piece of string?
All right, Paul. Fingers crossed that we'll get some action soon, mate.
Cheers. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you. We're live, Danny.
Go for it.
Okay, let's have a word with one of our team principals, Danny Horn. As a team principal, how difficult is it for you this? I mean, it is difficult, but what are the difficulties?
It's just been frustrating, a lot of time waiting about, and the rides are hungry to get out. And Matt, obviously, he's been here before, but he's basically a newcomer. He's only done 2 laps, so it's just frustrating. Everyone's tired and wants to get going, but the difficulties are we haven't had the time to get the bike set up. So we've got a good base setting from riders we've had in the past here on the same bikes. But yeah, with Mikey being a new rider for us, and Matt being basically a newcomer, we need the track time to get a good base setting, really.
So when you say track time, what is it exactly that you're looking for in terms of, is it the times, or is it the performance of the bike, or is it just everything?
A bit of everything, yeah. Everything rolls into one, doesn't it? But with Matt, it's basically track time. Just to get him used to learning his way around. You can do as many on boards as you want, but until he gets out there with the bikes, and the surface is quite different this year because we've never had rain here properly before. That's the first time in sort of 12 years that I've seen it rain like that. So the grip levels are totally different. So for Mikey, it's getting used to our bikes. He was on a Suzuki before, now he's on our Kawasaki. And yeah, hopefully Mikey will get some times, but Matt just total track time and get used to the bike and the conditions in the track.
So how, with all these delays, does that hinder you? What things are hindering you? What, you know, in terms of getting that bike ready?
Just time, yeah. Just the guys going out, getting used to the bike and the track conditions.
That's all it is, really,
yeah,
you will have had a plan.
Yeah.
For the session and come in, do a few laps, do this, etc.
Yeah.
That's the, you know, how does that mess everything up?
Literally, just the guys haven't had the time on the bike with these conditions, different conditions, to give us any feedback. So with Matt learning the track, we're not too bothered about feedback on his side. But with Mike, he's been here before, so he knows what it should feel like. So he went well last year. So him not being able to go out there and sort of push on really and get a time, we can't really do much to the bike. It's a case of just start with what we've got, this base setting, and send him out. And what do we get there? 3 laps or something. So yeah, a bit of a pickle really.
Officially, that's free practice over.
Yeah.
Now they'll go into qualifying.
Yeah,
it's not ideal, is it?
It isn't ideal, and you just got to out here. You've got to kind of just take a deep breath, relax, and just take it as it comes. It is what it is, and make the best of it really.
Is that what it is now? Just take a deep breath and think, okay, this is going to be a Macau Motorcycle Grand Prix, different to any other. Let's just ride around, let's not push it, let's just get everything and come back another day.
Yeah, just make the best of it. You know, the race will be where it'll be. Everyone will go out there and have a good race, whether you're first or last. But yeah, you just got to kind of, like I said, take a deep breath and just think, yeah, it ain't ideal and it ain't going to be probably as good as other years, and maybe lap times won't be as good, but yeah, just make the best of it. We're out here, we could be at home in -2 degrees weather, couldn't we? We're out here and it's warm, we're in t-shirts, so yeah, just enjoy it.
It seems to be breaking through, but again, I can feel a little bit of rain.
Oh, don't say. I was just going to say it felt quite warm.
It could be, yeah. I don't know whether it's just my imagination.
Yeah, well, nothing had surprised me here this week. You know, we were sunbathing 3 days ago at 30 degrees, and now we're, you know, we come yesterday. It was like a monsoon here, wasn't it? So, yeah, like just take it as it comes.
Okay, fingers crossed.
Yeah. Cheers, mate. All right, thank you.
Cheers, thank you. Yeah. Okay. Hello again, folks. Dave Moore with you here at the Macau Motorcycle Grand Prix, where unfortunately rain has interrupted play in the free practice session, which has been delayed 48 hours and ran for what, 2 or 3 laps this morning. We're now going into a single qualifying practice session. We were due to have 2 sessions. However, we just have the 1 session now, and it has been delayed the start by 15 minutes. So again, a little bit of time to hope that the track would dry out. Definitely the temperature is picking up now, and the sun is breaking through the clouds. So as long as we don't get any more rain. Again, just interrupting myself because I want to see if I can hear what these guys are saying.
Well, I wouldn't delay it anymore. If you think everywhere's good apart from there, then let's go now.
We all need laps to get around and look at the rest of the track.
All right.
So they want to go. You could hear that. Certainly.
Just let us go now. As soon as you can, let us go now.
There you go. There you go, folks. They want to go. And they've been chomping at the bit for 48 hours to get out there. But unfortunately, the weather has curtailed any action on the gear circuit. But the session was delayed, the start by 15 minutes, but they want to go now. And quite rightly, too. So 70 minutes for qualifying. And again, you will get many riders, as I said earlier, in free practice will see what the bike will do over 12 laps. Rob Hodson, as I mentioned earlier, perhaps he was due to come in after 6 laps.
They wanted to go around again and delay another country. I was like, no, let's just let us go now. If that's the only worst area, let's go. I don't believe them. No, I know.
And it won't be. At least in the free practice facility to go out there.
Why don't we go
around?
Why don't all the riders get together and just say, look, we just ride around, all together, really slow, just to have a look ourselves.
So let's see. I don't think Peter Hickman got that lap in the car that he was looking for to go round. But the rider's itching to get back on track. Whether or not one of them might just go round on a bike first and let them know, or whether they'll just all go together, just take it easy. But as Danny and everybody else said, we've never known a Macau like this. They did have, in '87, I think it was, something of a typhoon. Maybe a little bit of action here going on. Here we go.
So they want, yeah, we'll say it again. Say it in all the languages.
I don't know whether you could say Peter Hickman is an unofficial spokesman, a kind of rider's liaison officer role there, but certainly he is the defending Macau Motorcycle Grand Prix champion. So in terms of commanding respect, he is the man at the moment, you'd have to say.
The top of the hill is the worst bit. They wanted to delay it another 15 minutes. I said I think we're all better off putting a flag out. Let's all just tiptoe around for the first 10 to 15 minutes. Make the start of the session free practice, not qualifying, so that none of us have to have any pressure at all. And then after a few laps, once we kind of decide, maybe if we're coming in going, yeah, it's dry enough now, they can turn it to qualifying. Or maybe just after the first 20 minutes, if it comes qualifying. I don't know what you all think about that, but I think the more laps we get, the better. Even if we have to tiptoe through a little bit. Everyone think the same?
I agree. It's like the first bit.
Well, that's what I've asked for. So.
Is it just like in the last two corners? It looks like it's done. It's
Yeah.
not just the
But
top.
also bear in mind that they're telling us it's only San Francisco Hill, the top of there that's wet.
It might be.
There's a good chance that there's going to be wet elsewhere, so don't just like take their word for it and go, Mint, yeah, let's go flat out everywhere else. Like literally crawl around the first few laps at least so you know exactly where the wet is, because we literally don't. We're just taking their word. None of us have been allowed to go around in a car to see what it's like. They're just saying that. So you've got to go and look for yourself. Don't fucking do anything. Don't take any risks. Don't do anything stupid.
The start of the session should be free practice anyway, so should be. And even if it's not, the end of the session is going to be the better anyway. Isn't it? So, yeah, basically get going now. Otherwise, we're just sitting around doing nothing. All right.
That's the best bit of TV we've had so far this week. Riders United. Yeah, common sense. So much common sense there. That's the way to do it, folks. So Peter Hickman and Davey Todd. We heard Peter Hickman talking there, backed up by Davey Todd, just saying that even you get to the top of San Francisco and think, oh, it's dry. So let's just go round. So what's this sign? I've just heard an announcement. I didn't quite hear what it was. Maybe if we can get a camera on that sign that's being held up. Oh, 3-minute board. That was the 3-minute board. So they are going to go out and they are going to tiptoe around. It actually is quite dramatic. Even though nothing's really happening, you can now feel the drama here at Macau. As I say, it's a circuit that commands respect. It just needs proper common sense applying. You can't go wild, you can't take risks. They can just go around together, take it easy. So the start 5 to 9, that's local time. So just under 2 minutes. So they'll get out, and we're not going to see anything, but we don't need to see anything now, do we? We just want to see bikes go around. I don't want to see anything. We don't want to see anything in terms of fastest times, etc. And I say, and if they all treat it, I mean, officially they can't. I know what Peter was saying there, like 15 minutes, because we talked about this the other day. We said with the sessions thing and say, well, maybe you could have 30 minutes of free practice and then the final 30 minutes of an hour-long session would be timed. But hard to really do. So, but they can't just go out and have a little free practice session. But if they treat it the first 15 minutes as free practice, no one pushing it, no one trying to gain an advantage. And also the thing to remember at Macau, if you're on the first 3 rows, even the 4th row, you are still in with a chance of winning on a motorcycle. The cars, different. Motorcycles, you have the opportunity, and we've seen people from row 3, etc., in the past go on to win the race. So as long as you're on those first 3 rows, maybe even the 4th, and I think Josh Brooks was on row 5 last year. Could have been row 4, but I think it might have been row 5, and he went on to finish 4th in his debut year. So this is what we wanted to see, and what we now want to see are bikes going slowly. I never thought I'd find myself saying that, but we want to see them slowly going round. So the official advice is slippery track from turn 5 to turn 7. That's the top of San Francisco to Maternity. That's the end of sector 2. So you can't have 2 better riders to follow around Macau in iffy conditions than Michael Rutter and Peter Hickman. Everyone's going out, and they've just got to listen to what Peter and Davey were saying, especially when you're a newcomer to Macau.
Craig Neve on his way as well. We'll just hope that that message that Peter, because not every rider was there, of course. And you can see here coming down into Lisboa. Now this is coming up to San Francisco now. So Rutter and Hickman just behind. It's a pity we couldn't have gone back now just to the camera. Here we are. So yeah, but this is where, right, he's backing off. They're backing off. Looking around, taking it easy. Yeah, flags are out. You'll see these flags between turns 5 and 7. And they have slick tyres on, folks, in tricky conditions. So, tentative. That's the word here, tentative. And once they've got 2 or 3 laps in, and if it isn't good, they'll come in. They'll come in, they won't push it. Of course, they're under pressure to get back out and get some more laps, but not the kind of pressure that they feel that they have to race. So Michael's looking around to see where Peter is. Into Police and into Moorish. Looks good. It looks good. The surface, that is, from the pictures. However, the riders will be the best judges of what condition those surfaces are in. Paul Williams just deciding to sit back. And it doesn't take every rider to be out there right now. So I can tell you who is out. Paul Jordan's gone out. Martin Morris has gone out. Craig Neve has gone out. Michael Rutter has gone out. Marcus Simpson's gone out. Davey Todd has gone out, Rob Hodson, Sam Johnson, Peter Hickman, Julian Trummer, Laurent Hoffman and Ryan Whitehall are all out at the moment. Chris Duncan, Matt Stevenson, Mikey Evans, Luca Guittardi, Erno Kostamo, Almeric Blanc, Paul Williams and Sam West are still in the pits at the moment. But there is really, well, I'll say that, there is really nothing to gain from them going out. So they're giving it a little bit more lick this time, but of course, through here, this is fine. What a man Michael Rutter has been. What a servant to the Macau Grand Prix he has been over the years. See there how good he was to make sure that rear didn't lift coming into Lisboa. So we'll just see now how much he backs it up. Just a little wheelie push pulling up there. So Michael Rutter is the man to follow at the moment, certainly a little bit quicker. We're getting pictures from his MGM. Oh yes, 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 you can see from the onboard picture the situation there, little damp patches here and there, but it certainly dries off quicker, the humidity in this part of the world, than it would do back in the British Isles. But Peter Hickman on the MGM FHO Batham's BMW. Just on the rear wheel of Peter Hickman. So we do have that clock ticking down from 15 minutes. So I'm waiting to get an official confirmation. It looks like they might have just agreed to that 15 minutes. So 15 minutes of free practice. Let's try and see if I can get some more information. So out of the Macau hairpin. Look at that rear wheel shaking about. Words cannot describe how bumpy it is, that section down through there. Most of the track is bumpy, but even more so. Surfing those waves out of the Macau and down here. And the riders will tell you on the last lap, if they've got someone behind them but they get good exit out of Fisherman's, they know the race is theirs. Short turn. And Davey Todd, even as tempting as it may be for him to pass Peter Hickman, his teammate for next season, of course, at FHO Racing, but he will learn so much by following Peter around here at the moment. And even though times are coming up on the screen, ignoring them for the moment. I'm talking of bumps again. Just this approach into this bar. The one thing that they won't have to worry about, of course, is because generally when they've had a qualifying session at the end of the day, and the sun, which you've not really seen this year at Macau, but the sun will hit them straight in the eyes as they go into the turn into Lisboa. But that is not an option this year because the sun is not this, or certain the sun is not coming down that part of the track at this point here. Not an issue for early morning sessions, it is at the end of the day. Hodson with the fantastic helmet as well. His daughter Erin is her little handprint is painted on the back of his helmet, her name as well. Kostamo is out. Just Sam West is the only rider that's not showing us out at the moment. Like a squadron of fighter pilots all sticking close together. And again, I mentioned it a couple of times in those interviews, the camaraderie is always good amongst road races, but especially here at Macau, because they're all working together. The pit garages are all close together. It's not as if they're all scattered around the paddock, so they're in and out of each other's garages throughout the day, or throughout the sessions, etc., and all the time, and staying in the same hotels together. So it is a free practice session, just confirmed. It is a free practice session. Erno Kostamo's not lost anything in translation. I love watching Kostamo ride. Really smooth. Had the pleasure of being in Imatra, watching him there where he's the king in his country, back in Finland. There he's gone. Metzler's got a one on the front and a rear. However, Erno looking to make a little move here into Lisboa. And it's a shame really, because a lot of these riders would normally be, say, testing bits and pieces, but at the moment it's just getting confidence with the track and making sure conditions are good enough to make these bikes work as they should do, at the speeds that they want them to. But again, those lack of adhesion flags are still out through turns 5 to 7. So everybody's still out on track. Just Sam West not gone out just yet. Can't explain why. imagine. I'm still waiting for official confirmation, but I would imagine they'll be straight out for qualifying after this 15-minute free practice. And it's good, really. The officials have been listening to what the riders wanted. The riders have spoken, and the officials have taken on board what they said and have given them these 15 minutes, just being able to ride around without having to push, without the added pressure of trying to get a qualifying time. Compression just on those BMWs as they come into Fisherman's. With the Superbike engine in the Superstock chassis behind the Superstock bike of Davey Todd. It's not the Superstock bike that Peter Hickman took to the lap record at the Isle of Man TT a couple of years ago. Here goes Kostamo, though. Kostamo goes up the inside. Down there. I hope that was my eyes playing tricks on me there. Was there a little bit of smoke coming from the back of Kostamo as he went round Mandarin? Just letting Michael Rutter go through. I'd like to go back to see Erno Kostamo. It might have been a glitch on the screen. But just as the Finn went past Davey Todd, but we'll soon see. The cameras may just pick them up as they go around again. Rutter. 7 minutes left on this session. Not even looking at the times on the left-hand side of the screen. A little bit of flames from the MGM FHO Ravens bike. Everything at Macau as well has Michael Rutter. He's been on Kawasaki, he's been on Honda, he's raced Suzuki, he's raced Ducati. And Yamaha and BMW. He's been on BMWs apart from 2018 and 19 when he was on the Honda. He's been on BMWs since 2015. Sam West is, well, he did go out. He is out, so Sam West is out on track now, so a little bit of a delay, but Sam West is now out. So Laurent Hoffman just going round Lisboa. And here is Chris Duncan, one of the newcomers, flying the cross of St Andrew for Scotland. All Scottish crew. Chris Duncan here for the first time at Macau on the KD TCC racing bike, the Yamaha R1. So, what's going on here? We have 5 minutes left of this session. Watching bikes coming into pit lane away from your picture right now as we watch this on board from Michael Rutter. Everybody is coming in. Is that a rain situation again? slapper there, a little bit of a wobble, more really than a slapper, but certainly so bumpy. Michael Rutter looks as if he's going on, so he is continuing. So maybe, I don't know whether that little group, it could have been just with newcomers, etc., all riding round together, which would have made sense. So Davey Todd is in, Peter Hickman is in, Craig Neve is in. And I just wonder, with Michael approaching 53 years of age next year, could this be the last time that we see him on a superbike? Could this be his last ever superbike ride, competitively? Just there, you can just see that crest there. That's where both wheels momentarily leave the surface. There's Michael's crew chief, John McAvoy, standing alongside Craig Neve. And just behind, that's Craig's dad, Andy. So just watching Michael Rutter continue to give it some lick. Just keeping that BMW in second gear all the way through. So just look at it, it's just in your line of vision, yellow, black, yellow, black, yellow, black. To Police and Moorish. A little bit of runoff there. I don't know whether that's been there in the past, and then down into this sweeping left at Don and Maria. Off then. See, no gear change second, just then ease off the throttle, come down, knock it down, one for Melko. Into second. Into third, into fourth, fifth, and then knocking it back. And then crucial to get the speed out of the turn. Out of Fishman's second gear, and then third, fourth, fifth. But Will, yeah. Michael Rutter's going for it. But I know they wanted to run pretty much race distance on that bike. Start off with a full tank of fuel. And not only is Michael reacquainting himself with the gear circuit, he's learning so much about that bike. It took Josh Brooks to fourth place here at Macau last year. Now then, will he miss his braking mark here? Oh, let's go back to Michael, please. It's as much as we like looking at Davey and Paul. But, oh, so he certainly carried on, did Michael. So sometimes you will see riders overshoot at Lisboa. They're just trying to find how late they can leave the brakes, how well their brakes are working. So it was just at the moment out on track. Oh, in fact, qualifying has begun now. So this is how it works, folks. Qualifying, I was just about to say, because everybody's in apart from Michael Rutter. I think Matt Stevenson, Trummer might still be out there. Duncan might still be out there, but it doesn't matter now. Qualifying has started. Qualifying is underway. Whether this lap will count towards it, I don't think so. In fact, it will be Sam West. Oh, in fact, Ryan Whitehall, on his first appearance at Macau, has just lit a purple on Sector 1. And Matt Stevenson's gone a purple on Sector 3, and Martin Morris has done a purple on Sector 4. So something a little personal for those guys. As Rutter now goes and puts their personal in. Ryan Whitehall, the newcomer on bike 361. Is in the P1 position on the leaderboard. The graphics will come up on the screen soon. But this is Rutter coming in, yeah. So qualifying starts now. So Ryan Whitehall is out, Sam West is out. When I say out, they're out on track. Sam Johnson is out, Matt Stevenson is out, Chris Duncan is out, Martin Morris is out on the track. So qualifying has started. I don't know why they're waiting to go out, why Peter Hickman does not have a helmet on at the moment, and I'm not going to guess either. So there is Sam West on bike number 6, one of the few riders on Dunlops. Oh, red flag. There is a red flag. So what a shame, just as, and it's become really the theme of Macau 2024, just as you think things are about to get going, we get a red flag. Clock has stopped, of course. So they still have that time to use to get to qualify. It wasn't like the free practice session where, as it was free practice, that they continued on.
It was not too bad, is it?
Alta interrupção com bandeira vermelha neste seria nesta sessão para a 56ª edição do Grande Prémio de Macau.
Julian Trummer, just on our screens. So Ryan Whitehall has made his way back in, so too has Sam Johnson. Sam West is still out on track. Well, you certainly couldn't have scripted this year at Macau. And also, and I don't blame you for thinking it, folks, will we actually have a race this year?
He did, but he passed me into turn 2 and went all the way around, flat out until about the hairpin.
Back in 2012, as I mentioned earlier, we did have, it was pushed back, I think it was Sunday night, and we ended up racing as Martin Morris makes his way back into the pits. We ended up racing, the streetlights came on as the checkered flag was waved, and Michael Rutter won on the SMT machine. So Sam West is still out on track trying to make his way back. There is Julian Trummer. If you follow him on social media, puts up some great content as well. And boy, does he love his motorcycle racing. the Scottish boys, Chris Duncan. Looks like it'll be a fuel tank, fuel. Oh my goodness, what, we've had some kind of spillage in pit lane as well. So Chris Duncan will be going out. Very much looking forward to riding at Macau, as they all are, of course. But Chris and his team very enthusiastic about being here at Macau this year. And also, apologies to the car drivers, expecting to have a bit of track time today, but they've hogged it so far, so hopefully you don't mind that the motorcyclists have Macau to themselves for a little bit longer. So Matt Stevenson is in. So all the riders are in. So it's not been something that's happened to one of the riders as Sam West comes in as well, that's happened to the riders out on track. So whether it's an adhesion issue, it could just be, and I think maybe because you saw Peter Hickman giving the hand gesture to saying to end it, and I think that's what they want. What they want is they've gone out, they've had 2 or 3 laps of free practice. Now they want to get ready for qualifying. They don't want to just go bang into qualifying unless this is it. I wonder if that's the Kostamo thing that I picked up on. But that is the reason for the red flag. There we go. There's liquid down. Hollywood scriptwriters, if you're looking for a dramatic, can't believe it would ever happen type story, Macau Motorcycle Grand Prix 2024, you'll get all the stories that you want. But this is the reason for the red flag. I've not been told that officially, but the gentleman in the light blue shirt, just in the middle of the 3 light blue shirts, is Mervyn White, who is Mr. Northwest 200, of course, and he has a role here at Macau. So yeah, it is oil on track. That is the reason we have the red flag. That's in pit lane. So I'm not going to point any fingers until I know what's going on, but yeah, what a shame. But it's the oil at Lisboa that is the cause for concern here at Macau this year. Anyone like to speculate as to what could go wrong next? So it's not rain, it's oil. Just going to go on snow checker, make sure we don't have a snowstorm coming in next. The good thing is, though, that the clock has stopped at 32 minutes 24. To see whether that's just the surface colour or whether that is some kind of liquid that we saw the cars just going over there. But this is the section where we did have the lack of adhesion flags out. Well, I'll just say anyone that stayed up back in the UK, where it is around 1:30 in the morning, thank you so much for staying with us, even though there's not much going on. And even more so, those in Finland and Belgium and France and Austria, because there it's 2:30 in the morning. Thank you so much for staying with us. It is absolutely incredible this year. Absolutely incredible. We should have had the race done, the winners garlanded, the champagne popped by now. We haven't even begun qualifying. Well, that's one way to do it. And as I say, and I'll keep saying the phrase, commands respect. This circuit does command respect. And anything that can be done to improve the quality of the surface will be done here at Macau. Temperature's certainly rising as well. It's getting warmer as the day goes on. It's 9:30 in the morning here in Macau. Tomorrow morning we will be back for a warm-up session, followed by a 12-lap race. That's the plan. However, all plans have gone out of the window this week as far as the motorcycles are concerned at Macau. So even though I tell you there'll be a warm-up session and a race tomorrow, don't believe me. We can't believe anything that we've seen this year here. And as patient as you have been at home, so too have the fans who are here. And that will certainly be a packed grandstand for tomorrow's race tomorrow morning. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Just trying to find out some information for you folks as to what is likely to start next. So we need to try and keep you entertained for the moment. Let's see. Okay, here's a little quiz question that we drew up the other day. What do Mike Hailwood, Michael Rutter, and myself, which I can't believe I'm including myself alongside names such as Mike Hailwood and Michael Rutter, have in common that nobody else has in terms of motorcycle racing? You could almost add Terry Reimer onto that as well. So Mike Hailwood, Michael Rutter, and myself. I know I'm going down partridge territory here with this, but please forgive me. It's quite interesting. So I know you can't contact me. So if you've all been thinking, I'll give you a little bit of a clue. It is something to do with television. And it's come to something when I'm having to come up with quiz questions at a motorcycle Grand Prix event to keep things going. Oh, session will resume on a short call, so we're not too far away. So I better hurry this up. So it's something to do with TV, and it's something to do with soap operas. And if you said they've all appeared in the UK TV series Coronation Street, give yourself 2 points. Mike Hailwood is supposedly, or was supposedly, part of a motorcycle gang who appeared, I can't believe we've come to this, who appeared in Coronation Street back in the 1960s. Michael Rutter famously appeared in Coronation Street as a punter playing on the fruit machine in the Rover's Return in 2008. And I believe it was the late Paul Bird who arranged that for him. And I appeared in 2010 because they decided to put a big TV screen up in the Rover's Return, and they were showing some motorcycle racing, motocross in fact, and I was commentating on the screen. And Terry Reimer, there used to be a picture of Terry Reimer in Kev's garage on the wall. So there you go. Well done if you saw the link between Mike Hailwood, Michael Rutter, myself, and Terry Reimer. I'm sorry, folks, I do apologize. Hopefully we'll have something better to talk about very soon. And I believe it was Erno Kostamo, and I think it was. It looked as if he blew just as he went past Davey Todd into Mandarin, and that is, I'm told, that's his oil that has gone down. Not that he did it on purpose, of course. Not that anyone should be thinking any less of Erno Kostamo. Really top bloke, really nice guy. Lives for his racing, super talented. Even Peter Hickman couldn't beat him at Imatra a couple of years ago. But there it was. It looked as if there was a puff of smoke from his BMW as he went past Davey Todd into Mandarin, and then unfortunately, really, he's put it down all the way around on the track. Had it blown there, it wouldn't have been so bad. But that is what has caused this delay here at Macau for the Motorcycle Grand Prix. So when the qualifying session begins, again, it's going to be with some trepidation, as the cleanup operation continues here. The track at 23, turn 23, which is the final bend, our bend, which we just saw. And also coming into the pits as well. The riders have to watch themselves as they come into the pits. And with so much resurfacing going on at Macau as well this year, I think it might have been Michael Rutter who said that a lot of the track has been resurfaced since last year. and a lot of it is shiny. It looks shiny. So sometimes it can look wet when it's not wet. It's just a shiny road surface, that dark grey. I can't even give you a time to set your alarm clocks if you wanted a little snooze before we get things back underway again. But again, folks, thank you so much for your patience. I know it's not just the riders who are finding things frustrating. If you're a fan of motorcycle racing or motorsport and you want to see some top-class motorsport action, well, we've just had to put everything on hold. So 9:39, session will get underway in 90 seconds time. So we are a minute and a half away, folks. So if you were just dropping off, if you are watching, because there are, and I keep saying that because all of this field, they're all from Western Europe. So I know that people are watching this all around the world, in Australia, etc., where the time is pretty much the same here. So there you go, a minute to go. And then the clock will start ticking down from 32 minutes 24, which is what we've got left on this session. So yes, what drama are we going to have next here at Macau? Let's hope it will be incident-free from now on for the next 30 minutes or so. So less than half a minute to go until that pit lane reopens to the bikes. No one has put a lap time down so far, so here we go. Peter Hickman. Gloves on and ready to go. There we are. Pit lane has opened. We're about to commence the qualifying session here again. Will this be Peter Hickman's year? If he does manage to get a 5th win at Macau, some think that maybe he should have been awarded the win back in 2019, but we won't go back to that. But he will then be behind Ron Haslam on 6 wins. He'll be 3rd in the overall list. Michael Rutter still the all-time motorcycle great on 9 wins at Macau. Craig Neve, as you heard as well, riding with a fractured shoulder. So bikes are back on track, but they've got to watch it. It's been cleaned up, but there will be a lot of cement dust around where they've been cleaning up the track. It all depends really. I mean, Erno must have known perhaps where he'd blown. Perhaps, in fact, maybe he didn't realise that what happened. They normally know by, you feel it on the rear wheel. If he had, he would have pulled over. Unless there were just spots of it coming. Who knows? I'm not going to speculate further on that one. But as it stands, everybody is out on track. We're just waiting for Matt Stevenson and Ryan Whitehall and Michael Rutter to make their way back onto the circuit. Sam Johnson, you just saw on the GSXR 1000. Not too many of them around nowadays. There he is. Number 3, Martin Morris on the Honda CBR. So Michael Rutter is coming out to play. It's just Ryan Whitehall we're still waiting for. So 19 bikes on track as things stand at the moment. Also as well, Peter Hickman, if you're wondering why he's not riding the #1 plate, he has the 88 and Michael Rutter has 8. It's considered very lucky numbers. And Faye Hope, the team principal for the MGM FHO team, certainly likes the fact that her boys are riding with those numbers. It could be argued that they have the talent that they don't need luck on their side, but I think every rider will tell you anything that's going is always an advantage. So anyway, we have some other riders. I think Hickman, Evans and Hodson could well be now on their way to posting qualifying times, fingers crossed. We did see it in the Formula regional race, qualifying yesterday, sorry. Just as it looked as if we were going to get a lap in, someone would crash. So getting an actual qualifying lap time down. We just have to hope as well that the riders are patient, because when you're standing around waiting, you're just biting, chomping at the bit to get out. You just hope that they just hold it back a little bit, don't push too hard. So let's get some qualifying laps down. Everyone's out. Ryan Whitehall is now out on track. Hickman's just done the fastest sector 1. Hodson's done the fastest sector 2. Davey Todd has just taken that sector 1 time from Peter Hickman. So we will have a provisional grid in a couple of minutes' time. So Hickman does the purple in sector 3, 32.8. Paul Jordan has just done the fastest sector 2. Early days, of course, yet. So nothing to get excited about so far as Kostamo. Now that's interesting. So Kostamo 27.9. So whatever that issue was, they got it sorted pretty quickly. Another purple sector for Peter Hickman on sector 4. That's Police Moorish, Donna Maria into Melco. Here he is on the 5th and final sector. So, in fact, Michael Evans has just put the fastest sector 4 time in. He's gone purple on that one. So P1 is going to be Peter Hickman. So 2 minutes 33.1, which when you consider that McCallan did 2:35.9 back in 1995 as the fastest lap overall in qualifying, that's a pretty good pace. Bob Hodson second, Michael Evans third. But they're the only 3 riders to go past the checkered flag. So too Marcus Simpson. He does a 2 minutes 40, 7 seconds down on Peter Hickman. Tardy goes 4th fastest with a 2:37.1. Trummer goes ahead of, in fact, they're all coming through now. So 10th Martin Morris, 9th Sam Johnson. Davey Todd 2 minutes 30.1. Kostamo 2 minutes 30.1 as well. Paul Jordan 2 minutes 30.9. Davey Todd certainly not hanging around. None of them are hanging around, of course, but Davey Todd confident enough to put in a 2 minute 30.1. So it's Todd, Kostamo, Jordan, Hickman, Hodson, Neve, Evans, Guattardi. Rutter's been putting in a bit of a pace as well. He's going to pop up, I think, in that top 6 very soon. Here is Michael Rutter. His Kostamo's pulled over again. Now, why has Erno Kostamo pulled over? However, again, he did have that issue with the oil, so I believe. So, oh, right, okay. Overshot. Overshot at Lisboa. Again, though, you'll see a little bit of that from some other riders as they test the limits on their brakes. It's the one place they can see how hard they can brake, because there's a little bit of runoff at Lisboa. However, with less than 25 minutes on the clock, so Rutter fastest 2:29. He's the first rider to go inside 2.5 minutes. Rutter now tops the leaderboard, 2 minutes 29.2. However, Hickman last year, his time was 2 minutes 24.8. That's still impressive from Rutter on a track which has got dust down on it from the oil from Kostamo's bike. And also, I mean, all the damp has gone now. This is coming down into Lisboa. Peter Hickman just tips it around. Kostamo showing as the fastest on sector 1, but that's no surprise really, because he really did fly into Lisboa. The popular overtaking spot as well, this of course. Opportunities really from this moment on until they get down to the Fisherman's Bend. They just have to stay in order. Davey Todd still holding second place on the leaderboard behind Rutter. Kostamo third fastest, Hickman. In fourth place, Jordan fifth. Good to see the newcomers taking it steady. They're all in the 240s. Perfect. That's what we like to see. Like to ride like this, Duncan. And even Matt Stevenson, he was here in 2022, but only managed a couple of laps. So as Danny Horn, the chief principal at Davey Racing, was saying, he is pretty much a newcomer. 32, Luca Guttari, the Italian, who is inside 2 minutes 40. Davey Todd has made his way past, and you will see overtaking, of course, through those sections, through the top part of the gear circuit, because it is a qualifying session. And Davey Todd certainly knows his way around here better than Luca Guttari, though come race day, there'll be little to no overtaking through that section. So not expecting Davey Todd really. Oh, he's going to go just inside. He does. 2 minutes 28.5. So Davey Todd takes over top place, pole position. 6/10 of a second just inside Michael Rutter. And he did follow Guttari for a little bit through that section as well, so you know there's a bit more time to be gained. So just looking at Davey Todd now coming down to Lisboa. He's done this in 25.0 seconds. He does this time in 25.5, so he's half a second slower on this occasion coming down from the start finish into Lisboa. And a couple of bikes just in front of him as well. Hickman is into third place now behind Rutter. So it's a three-way FHO Racing situation at the top of the qualifying leaderboard here at Macau. Kostamo still holding fourth place. Hodson and Jordan on provisional row 2. Trummer, Evans and Hoffman on provisional row 3, Neve, Guattardi and Williams on provisional row 4. Simpson, Stevenson, who's moved up now the order, and Blanc, provisional row 5. West, Whitehall and Morris, provisional row 6. Michael Rutter is on something of a hot pace as well. We should keep an eye on him. So too Peter Hickman. I think 2:24.7 is Michael. No, sorry, 2 minutes 23.7. Back in 2010 on the Ducati was Michael Rutter's fastest ever qualifying time. Oh. So we have a red flag at Macau as Paul Jordan makes his way round. Just as before the red flag came out, Michael Rutter had done a 2 minutes 28.1, just a little bit inside of Davey Todd. Peter Hickman, third fastest so far, but the machines making their way back to pit lane. This session remaining. If you're just joining us here at Macau for the Motorcycle Grand Prix, we are in the qualifying session. We were due to have 2 qualifying sessions here at Macau, but it's been combined into one with everything that's been happening over the last couple of days with the weather here. And the clock has been stopped with just under 90 minutes of the session remaining. So machines making their way back in. Michael Rutter on the MGM FHO Batham's bike in provisional pole as things stand at this moment in time. 2 minutes 28.1 Just under half a second faster than Davey Todd. Chris Duncan, like 1:19. The fastest time so far at 2:44.1, but Chris Duncan doesn't need to concern himself with 2 minutes 44.1. He just needs to get to know the Macau circuit. Peter Hickman, 4-time Macau Motorcycle Grand Prix winner. Teammate to Davey Todd this time at Macau. Darren Jones, crew chief for Peter Hickman, discussing something. Mikey Evans of the Dapperbet Racing team. 8th fastest so far, the best time of 2:34.1. And the Jackson Racing machine of Paul Jordan, number 2. Quite a few nationalities here at Macau this year on the motorcycle. Again, dominated by Brits, as it pretty much has been since the early days. Finland, Austria, the Isle of Man through Michael Evans and Marcus Simpson. Laurent Hoffman from Belgium, Luca Gottardi from Italy. The Frenchman Almeric Blanc. Hopefully I'm pronouncing your name correctly, Almeric. We do know a bike has crashed. That's what's caused the red flag. Sam West, who eventually did get out in that free practice session, but Sam West, no stranger of course to Macau, down in 16th fastest so far, 2 minutes 42.8.
That's 2 minutes 28.115. This is 5 laps in the qualifying section. 4 tenths of a second ahead of Davey Todd's FHO teammate, and it's looking like an FHO BMW sort of lockout provisionally at the moment. Keeping 6 tenths off.
Weather-wise, it's still overcast here at Macau, and even though there's a couple of brollies up, I really don't know why, because there's still no sign of any rain or raindrops coming down. BMW have been dominating the Macau Motorcycle Grand Prix, and it's incredible to think back to around 2009, and you can correct me if you want to, but Rico Penskoffer, who is here as a team boss, this Penn's team, though not running under the Penn's banner this weekend. I certainly remember Rico back on a BMW in 2009. And Jeremy Toy on a BMW. Remember Jeremy? Then we had, it was around 2010 when BMW certainly in the road racing world started to make an impact. And it wasn't really until around 2015, the likes of Hickman, Rutter and Jessup. Gary Johnson as well, I remember on a BMW. All of a sudden, since really 2015, BMW has been the bike to be on. I mean, last year they filled all the top positions. And successful, of course, this year in World Superbike. However, on the domestic front in the UK, Yamaha and Honda dominated proceedings, didn't they? So that's where the accident happened. So once this resumes, there'll be a lack of adhesion flag. So once that's cleaned up, this session should be underway. We have no information, of course, on the injured rider. But the grandstands around this circuit will be filling. In fact, they only have 2 grandstands at Macau, one at the start finish and the other is at Lisboa. And if you do come to Macau to watch the racing, then it will be in a grandstand at the start finish or at the grandstand at Lisboa. There are no other spectator areas around the circuit, although of course there are lots of private residences that look out over the track. Incredible as well the way that the event has developed over the years, because I can recall certainly my first few years coming here, stands were fairly empty. But now the Macau Motorcycle, or the Macau Grand Prix I should say, has grown in stature amongst the locals and people travelling from all over the world to come and witness this unique event. So my apologies if you've tuned in expecting to see some action at the moment, but understandably everything is on hold at this moment in time here at Macau, where the local time is 5 minutes past 10, so it'll be 2:05 in the morning in the UK, 3:05 across Western Europe, 4:05 across Eastern Europe. And certainly the organisers of the Macau Grand Prix like to involve the locals and youngsters, etc. That even in the lead up to the event, there's all manner of things going on, attractions, etc. They like to make it more than just a motor race. You can see again kids in the crowd having a great time, even though there's nothing really happening. There we go, hats off to you, young man. And plenty of big screens as well, as you can tell from them noticing themselves on the telly, and they are certainly getting their screen time right now. But plenty of big screens around the area, the spectators' areas. So, of course, with just 2 spectator areas on this track, they can still watch what's going on elsewhere. And it's incredible how this event has developed in time. From effectively, back in the early days, what was a beach race, from what I understand. Not that I was around to witness that. I think a few spectators have learned if you start waving, even if you're not on screen, a camera will soon pick you up. And I can only apologise really for a lack of information, although I'm just being told now the session will resume on a short call. So I think once we see the marshals having cleaned up that section, then we will be back on track again. Yeah, the riders are being told to stand by to return to business here at Macau. Amazing as well, you think of all those who've been attracted to this event to take part. Roger Bennett, remember Roger Bennett? Lee Pullen, Michael Barnes, Simon Beck. So sadly some of these no longer with us, of course. Tom Oxenreiter, Eric Gomez, David Goodley, Gerhard Lindner, Ray Stringer had a go as well in the late 90s. Chuck Graves. I remember Marcus Barth as well when I first started coming here. He was pretty much on the pace as well. Brian Morrison, Ian Duffus. Thomas Hinterreiter. Guy Martin, of course, who back in the day, didn't he crash twice, I think? And the rule generally was if you crashed at Macau, you weren't invited back. However, as we saw with Peter Hickman, who slid off in 2014, he did come back. But those were really, I think, back in the Mike Trimby days. And Mike Trimby, who we sadly lost last year, so important in what we have in terms of the Macau Motorcycle Grand Prix today. Not just all the work he did in the Grand Prix 500 and MotoGP with Erno for the riders and the teams, but also his involvement here at Macau for many, many years. And still talked about very, very fondly here. You can't come to Macau and not hear the name Trimby mentioned. So here we are, green flag's just been waved, we're open, and we're up and running again. The clock is ticking. Bikes going back on track. 19 minutes, and they're doing 2.5 minutes a lap. And with just 90 minutes to go, you won't see too many, I would imagine, coming in, unless they are really happy with a quick time, which will put them in a good position on the grid for tomorrow morning's race. We will be back here around this time tomorrow. There's the first machines. Rutter's out, Todd is out, Hickman is out, Kostamo, Hodson and Paul Jordan all making their way into Lisboa. I think that's just Paul Jordan just coming out of Mandarin now. But Rutter, Todd and Hickman together, and Kostamo on the road. Just coming through sector 2 to sector 3. did look as if the dust is down at police. So there you go, yeah, through police and into Moorish. Very narrow part of the track, then coming out, that is out of Moorish into Donna Maria. So Rutter fastest so far, followed by Todd, followed by Hickman, followed by Kostamo, followed by Hodson, followed by Jordan. But this is an outlap, so therefore we won't get a time for this one popping up. But it will be back on the throttle as they come out of our bend, which is the final turn. And it's a really tricky corner as well, really sucks you in. Got to get it turned, but yeah, full gas. And away we go. Number 8, Michael Rutter. Number 2, Paul Jordan. Number 5, Craig Neve. Kostamo just disappearing through the bottom of the screen now with Davey Todd just behind him. I've had it confirmed it was Erno Kostamo with the oil. Officially confirmed. And here they come. It's fast out of Mandarin. Apex is so far around that second turn at Mandarin. And getting it into Lisboa is so crucial to get that right. To get that cornering right, doing about 190 miles an hour into Lisboa. First gear for Lisboa, second gear, then up. San Francisco just gone third, fourth. Then back at the top, first, second gear. You have to really knock it back. First gear into maternity, then second gear out, the right-hand turn. So second gear here, just if you listen to the engine notes, the engine tones, you might occasionally get a nick into third. But it is just second gear. Even some go into first for police, some go into keep it in second, but first into Moorish. That's Moorish that Michael Rutter's just coming out of now. Then up into second gear, all the way around Donna Maria. This is second gear, holding second, holding second, holding second. And then down into first. And second, third, fourth, fifth gear. Up to about 150 miles an hour, then knocking it down into second. Crucial you get the drive out, then it's into third, into fourth, into fifth, over 150 miles an hour, then knocking it back a couple of gears into third. There's that exit there, Davey Todd taking it right out to the white line, out to the black and yellow. And he does a 2:26.2. Davey Todd goes fastest. 2:27.9 for Kostamo, who is second quickest. Rutter still with a 2:28.1. Hickman with a 2:28.7. Just 13 minutes remaining. Todd, Kostamo, Rutter and Hickman. Kostamo, the Finnish fly in the British ointment right now. It's Brits filling the top 7 places, apart from Kostamo in second. Michael Evans, 9th fastest as well. Laurent Hoffman in 10th position. Rutter having done a purple on sector 1. But again, he might be looking to test those brakes on that MGM FHO Batham's BMW. Although having said that, it looks like he got round there because he then did a 28.5 in sector 2, so he certainly hadn't lost any time. That's into Moorish. A little bit of a run off there, and then into Don Maria. So at the moment, Peter Hickman is on row 2 alongside Rob Hodson and Paul Jordan. But he's only 0.6 of a second off Michael Rutter. So Hickman with Kostamo for company. Is that Hickman coming in? Yes, it is. Just a little foot out, so something that Peter Hickman is looking to improve on, especially with 11 minutes left. And generally the plan is, as you would see with these guys, that as long as they stay out, then they're happy. They are happy riders with happy bikes. However, if they're coming in after a lap or two, something's not quite right. So, especially here at Macau. So Peter Hickman will feel there is something that can be improved. And it's not been the greatest of seasons, it has to be said, for Peter Hickman, of course. Certainly on the short circuit front. And even really at the Isle of Man TT, wasn't his year, it was Michael Dunlop's year. Hodson and Todd are the ones setting down the markers at the moment. Michael Rutter has also come in to the pits. So again, maybe something that he would like to see maybe changed. Kostamo is still out though, and Davey Todd. What a year it's been for Davey Todd, British national champion, national superstock champion, and senior TT winner, of course, at the Isle of Man. And looking to cap what's been a great year by bringing victory to his new team on his debut for them. Ahead of the season of racing British Superbikes next year with the FHO Racing squad. And of course the Northwest 200, well, not so much the Northwest 200, who knows what's going to happen with that, but certainly the Isle of Man TT. Erno Kostamo, winner here in 2022. You put in the fastest sector on sector 2. John McElroy and Graham Ward will be working away on Michael's bike at the moment, making whatever adjustments he's asked of them. So here comes Kostamo back out onto Fisherman's and then into our bend. And that's a pretty rapid Davey Todd behind him as well. But Kostamo's just put a purple in on sector 4. It's all about Davey Todd and Erno Kostamo at the moment. Here goes Kostamo across the line now. Fastest 2 minutes 25.8. 2:25.8 ahead of Todd, 2:25.9. A tenth of a second between them. But Erno Kostamo, and many say that 2022 was a little bit of not a true year at Macau because it wasn't a full grid, but hey, he was here and he won it. You could say that with any race at anywhere across the world. But Kostamo came here in 2022 and he won the Macau Grand Prix. And he wants to show and prove that that was fully deserved. That's impressive from Kostamo, 2:25.8. And this young Finn just keeps getting quicker and quicker and quicker. He's already gone inside 2:26.4, which he put in last year. And he did 2:28.2 was his quickest time in qualifying in 2022. So he's just done his fastest ever lap of Macau. Here's Peter Hickman into Lisboa, then under the bridge and up into San Francisco. Of course, it's an outlap for Hickman as things stand at the moment. It'll be an outlap for Rutter as well in a moment, with just 7 minutes remaining. Todd's just done a purple in sector 2. And we are looking at a gap of 3 seconds that Hickman needs to make up on Todd and Kostamo. So here he is, just making his way through now. But Kostamo 225.8. Superbike engine, Superstock chassis. Only 4 Superbike engines at Macau this year. Rutter, Hickman, Hodson, and Kostamo. Rob Hodson, 5th fastest so far as well. Michael Rutter is back out on track. Paul Jordan has come in, so too has Luca Gottardi. So there goes Davey Todd, and he goes in pole, 225.5. He nudges Kostamo off top position, 0.2 of a second ahead of the Finn now, 2 minutes 25.5. So Davey Todd really at home, it seems, with the MGM FHO BMW. And Kostamo as well, but Davey Todd. But Hickman is out on track. Hickman's the man that we have to keep an eye on. So 225.5. Last year Hickman did a 224.8. So 224.8. Todd last year did a 225.3. So he's still 0.2 of a second off the time that he achieved in qualifying on the front row last year for the Macau Motorcycle Grand Prix. But Hickman needs to repeat the feat that he achieved last year if he's going to take pole position. Of course, not that crucial as Rutter is now winding it up and ready to go. Still on the front row as things stand, but can he find that 3 or 4 seconds that he needs to nudge Todd and Kostamo off pole position? So Rutter's on his way. But 2 minutes 25.5 from Davey Todd. And with less than 5 minutes on the clock remaining, who knows whether Kostamo will be back out, whether Todd, or whether, when I say back out, whether they'll wind it up for one more big hurrah towards the end of this session. They won't really have time. Maybe they're just happy. Again, as long as you are on the first 3 rows at Macau, you are in with a chance of victory. Certainly not the same situation with the cars, however, or generally anyway as a rule. But there is Rutter with somebody just ahead of him. This will be playing against him. Again, just second gear all the way through this section. It looks like Julian Trummer that is the rider just ahead of him. Julian just inside the top, well, fairly inside the top 10, 7th fastest so far. It's a row 3 start for Trummer as things stand. But Todd and Kostamo laying down the gauntlets so far. What do Michael Rutter and Peter Hickman have in terms of a response? Hickman does a 228.2. And 3.5 minutes remain. I think Rutter knows the game is up on this lap. But if he can get ahead of Trummer on the exit of Fisherman's, then maybe, perhaps. So here we are down into Melco, nicking it down into first gear. Todd has come in to pit. Pretty sure Kostamo will be following suit as well. So there is Trummer, and there is Rutter. Trummer taking it right out to the wall. But Michael might just fancy taking a punt past Trummer on the run down to Lisboa as they come round. So here we go, keeping an eye on Michael Rutter at the moment. Peter Hickman still on row 2 as things stand. Rob Hodson on row 3. Row 2 in the middle of row 2, I should say, with Paul Jordan alongside him. So here we go. Can Michael Rutter find his way in? This so crucial into man. Oh, now then, what's that? That's a very strange decision from Michael Rutter not to go for it. And there's no way of making a return for Michael Rutter, and he's just pulling out of the racing line as well. So a shame for Michael Rutter. He's still on the front row of the grid as things stand for tomorrow morning's Motorcycle Grand Prix. But that does not look good. And he's a long way from home.
Laurent Hoffman just rounding off.
There we are, he's just bringing it off the track. Maybe Rutter has pulled in, making adjustments, and will continue on his way perhaps. Who knows? No. What a shame for Rutter. But if it's going to happen, now's the time for it to happen, not in the race come tomorrow. So yellow flags warning the other riders that there is a rider off track. And again, you just get a bit of perspective there of Macau. Look how wide that run is from Mandarin down to Lisboa. And then when you get up to Police and Moorish, how tight it is. But there's the man currently holding pole position with a minute left on the clock for this session, Davey Todd. And Hickman is not really pulling up any tree stumps in his way round. It could be a row 2 start for Hickman as the way things stand. So here we are. I think this is Peter Hickman providing the pictures as he comes out of Fisherman's. We'll know if we get an external shot in a second. It certainly looks like his, but it is. I thought it was. Never assume anything, but Peter Hickman coming around now then. This is it, last chance saloon for Peter Hickman. Crossing the line now with less than 30 seconds to go. 2 minutes 25.5 is his target. He needs some purples, but he's on his way. And he needs a bit of a clear run as well. He has a little bit of road to play with at the moment. However, he might have a little bit of traffic to contend with up through sectors 2 and 3. So Hickman down into Lisboa. What's this going to be now? He's got to really be around the 23 seconds. It's 24.7. Interesting that he's got his both feet on the pegs this time, so maybe that heat coming up through the peg is not an issue this time. So he's out under the bridge, coming up San Francisco. So you've just got to keep an eye on Peter Hickman. He does a 27.7 through sector 2. He should squeeze Michael Rutter, I think, back onto row 2 and take that third position. I can't see him nudging Kostamo or Todd off either of the top 2 positions at the moment, but he won't be too concerned about that really. Even a row 2 start wouldn't be that bad. However, Davey Todd, I know, really, and Kostamo really wants to prove a point. So up through Police and into Moorish, and then round Donna Maria. This is Hickman. He's done a 31.3 in sector 3. Checkered flag has been waved. So these are the final times for qualifying. Into Melco. Oh, a bit wide. So maybe it's going to be Todd, Kostamo and Rutter as here comes Hickman. So 33.5 for sector 4. So I think Hickman is going to nudge Michael Rutter off. 228.2 is Hickman's best. He needs to go in 228.1. Here he goes across the line. Peter Hickman takes the checkered flag, rounds off qualifying, and goes third fastest, 226.1. So he's taking it up, and he's not too far off the times of Todd and Kostamo. So Rutter back to row 2 with Hodson and Jordan. But Peter Hickman will begin on row number 1. He's not taken pole position. That honour goes to Davey Todd, the first time he's taken pole position here at Macau. Hickman's had pole position on 3 occasions in the past. He's not made it 4. But he won't be too concerned, as I keep repeating. But Rob Hodson and Paul Jordan, you'd expect them really to be on row number 2. And again, I think that's Horst Seigert and a lot of German fans in the stands at Lisboa. And Michael Rutter there saying, perhaps you're second, but I think you got that wrong, Michael. I think Kostamo is in second position. So Michael, oh no, in fact, actually, I think Michael Rutter was saying there, I'm on row number 2. That's what he was saying. So Davey Todd, pole position for the Macau Motorcycle Grand Prix. 2 minutes 25.5, and he's done it with a time that's 0.2 slower than last year. Don't forget, cars will be on their way. I'm not too sure if this motorcycle session has knocked the cars back, roughly, but it will be cars all day today. And taking you through the rest of the day will be Alan Hyde and David Addison. But motorcycles, we've actually had some motorcycles here at Macau in 2024, and we will have more motorcycles tomorrow morning with a warm-up lap, and we'll also have the race coming not immediately after, because the riders will, having done their warm-up lap, come in, make any final adjustments before they go racing. 12 laps tomorrow morning, that's the schedule. I daren't even look at a weather forecast because you just don't know the way things have been going here at Macau this year. We will have a press conference, of course. We will hear from the top 3 riders, Peter Hickman and Kostamo, Erno Kostamo and Davey Todd in pole position. But that's how they've settled themselves down. Todd, Kostamo, Hickman on row 1, Rutter, Hodson, Jordan on row 2, Trummer, Evans and Neve on row number 3. Laurent Hoffman heads row number 4. Alongside Almeric Blanc and Simpson. And then on row number 5, Luca Gottardi, Sam West and Paul Williams. So we are getting ready for some 4-wheel action here. Just will bring you some of the highlights, pictures, but it will be almost time for me to say goodbye. And wherever you are in the world, thank you so much for your company. I know it's been frustrating for everybody involved, for the riders, for the teams, for the officials, for the fans, for you all watching at home. Sorry, I wasn't expecting to see that then. Erno Kostamo, what a performance from him. He starts on row 1 tomorrow.